And I'm always trying to get more reading in because it makes me feel so smart. So I'm listening to a lot of titles right now, and I'm doing that with Audible.
I am about to embark on a journey with the audio title The Plot by Jean Hanff Corlitz, and I'm really excited that Audible is there to help me.
As an Audible member, you can choose one title a month to keep from their entire catalog, including the latest bestsellers and new releases. There are thousands of titles. Try Audible free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/crappens or text crappens to 500-500. That's audible.com/crappens or text crappens to 500-500.
I'm Anna.
And I'm Emily, and we're the hosts of Terribly Famous, a new podcast from Wondery.
From Adele to Victoria Beckham and Lily Allen, we take you inside the drama-filled lives of our most talked-about celebrities to find out what it's like to walk in their shoes.
She means their beautiful Prada shoes.
Listen to Terribly Famous wherever you get your podcasts.
Happens when there's so much that happens. Watch what happens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that happens?
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Watch What Crappens, the podcast for all that crap we love to talk about on here, bro. I'm Ronnie. That's Ben over there. Hi, Ben.
Hi, Ronnie. How's it going?
Good. So good to see you today.
Good to
Dan?
see you, too. What a wonderful day.
I know. It's been such a long time. Last night was Crappie Hour. Super fun. Every other Monday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, 8:30 Eastern time. We had so much fun laughing with you guys last night.
It was a blast.
You know, I still am an old person and not really getting the hang of pushing buttons on Instagram, so sorry. Next time we're going to try it a little bit differently, but we'll announce that as we go. We're going to stream from both YouTube and Instagram, so we're going to be able to do a much smoother show running it from YouTube and streaming it to Instagram Live. So
results may vary. when Crappens promises smoothness, you always got to buckle in your seatbelt.
Yes. Listen, we're going to be doing something different every single week until we figure out something that works. But I'll tell you what is working, talking to you guys. That was so much fun. Be sure to follow us on YouTube, Watch What Crappens. Also, Patreon, that's where you get Crappens on Demand. That's where you get bonus episodes. This week we're going to be doing the Southern Charm trailer. So join up for that good stuff. Also on the Crappie Hour, we did a good 40 minutes or so talking about the Bethany interview with Raquel. So that's still up on our Instagram. If you just go to our Instagram at Watch What Crappens, you can watch the whole thing. Fast forward through the beginning a little bit because, you know, it's me trying to figure out how to make it start, which took a good 10 minutes.
Well, it's really my fault because I was supposed to start it and it would not start. And so I had to pass it over to, it was the internet. It was like, checking connection. I am checking my connection to David.
I tried to connect and I was paralyzed.
But yeah, there have been a lot of people who've been like, you got to recap the Bethany and Rachel interview. And so if you're looking for our takes on that podcast interview, that 10-part podcast interview where Bethany Frankel talks about the reality reckoning and finds ways to insert Rachel into it here and there, go check out our Instagram at Watch What Crappens.
Yes, so go find that. And today we are here to recap Below Deck Down Under Expedition.
Yeah, here we are. We're at episode 10, and it opens up with Culver making out with a new girl, Jamie. And I kept on wanting to write down Jessica or Jessie because she really is giving me Jessie vibes, not really Jamie vibes. So if I say Jessie during this recap, I apologize. I just for some reason have it in my head that that's what her name is.
You know, she's giving off the vibes of somebody who put two E's at the end of their name, like for no reason. And that's not to everybody. Desiree, Sheree,
Destiny. Smelled like that.
Destiny. I'm not just doing a general double E diss, but this is like one of those parents, kind of in the area I live, which is called Lakeway. But a lot of the parents out here name their children kind of normal names, but then spell them crazily because that's like, I don't know, it's like a white lady thing. It's like a white lady who plays tennis thing to do, like country club tennis thing to do. You know what I mean? Like, my baby's name is Casey, but it's spelled Ckacsseey. Like, but why though? You know why?
Yeah, but it's kind of like the name Chriselle in some ways too. So she's giving me
Chriselle's beyond stupid.
Well, she's named after a Shell station. Let's be honest.
Yeah, Chriselle's like beyond stupid. That goes beyond just silly spelling into just stupid naming. You know?
Yeah. But so we start off with Jamie making out with Culver at the bar. And Harry, of course, is watching from afar. But, full talk, look at that.
Oh, it's amazing. Flapping his arms everywhere. And Zarina is outside wasted with Joao. And she gets kind of like cross-eyed when she's wasted. And she's furious. And she's like, great, the girl I have a crush on is making out with a new girl. Like, why the fuck would she do that? She knows I've been crushing on him. I told her I like Culver. I told her.
Joao's
Pull it together. Pull it together.
Joao's like, but he doesn't even know that. And she's like, oh, he does. And she's like, but if he does, he's a dick and he's selfish and you know that's what he is. So, as they say in Zimbabwe, time to move on. And she's like, well, I know I'm not beautiful like she is, and I know I don't have a figure like she does. And he's like, but that is the point. Do you really want to be with someone who's only looking for that? Or do you want someone who appreciates you for the normal body and normal figure that you have? It's like, whoa, Joao.
Who says that? Jesus Christ, you should go write fucking cards, dude. Like, who says that to somebody? That's horrible. That's not the answer. The answer is, yes, you are. What are you talking about? That girl's ugly. That girl looks like a stick you'd pick up off the street to walk with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If, like, your knee hurt. Like, she looks hideous. She's horrible. What, she ever heard of moisturizer? Jesus Christ. It's like a stream ran dry, and she's just like a craggly rock with a dead lizard on top of it. The woman's disgusting. It's like I'm dying and there's like a little light I'm walking towards, and it looks like you're the light.
You're a goddess. You are literally a Tsarina. And but instead he's just, I know what he's saying. He's basically like, yeah, but that's the point. Like, do you want someone as shallow as that who only cares about looks? But like, at least prop up Tsarina while you say that.
But it's also a knock them down a peg thing so they're more accessible to you. You know what I mean? And I find that not everyone does it, but it's not just specific to Joao, but I've known a lot of people like that who are just like, well, we see it all the time with like really beautiful women and really hideous old gross guys who will make them feel ugly so that they have a chance. And so I'm getting a hint of that from Joao, and I know Joao's kind of like, we're team Joao because he seems to be doing a decent job this year and being somewhat better, but this is hints of that Joao that we know, like knock him down a peg, keep him accessible.
Yeah. And then he goes, do you want me to fire him? So then we see Harry and Culver in the bathroom, and Harry's like, well, there was like a solid 3 minutes tongue in the face. What's that like? What's it like to kiss a girl for more than just half a second and just on the lips? I can't even imagine.
Culver's like, I know, Harry, let's piss together. So they stand next to each other and whip out their wieners, and it's in front of one of those reflective tile walls, and the urinals are really low, and I'm really upset that we didn't get any wiener shadows. How did we not get any wiener reflections? This is below deck. Come on, people over there, you doing your job? Is there anybody there today?
I know, shine some light on those tiles. Then you can play like dumb when it like you get like a reflection dick slip on camera. Like, oh, we didn't even look at the tiles, that way you won't be in trouble with Bravo. Come on.
Yeah, and how are they allowed to film people while they've got their wieners out in the bathroom? Are there no safe spaces? Not that I need them to have a safe space. I want to see their wieners. Anyway.
Yeah.
Culver's like, well, I don't want Cheffy to be like, like a monster with a knife boiling a bunny, because she will. She's crazy. Look at me. Just look at me. To look at me the way that Chef Mom does. What's his mom's name?
Chef Kim. So then Harry goes back out and sits next to Margot and is like, "Can I have a kiss?" And she's like, I want to keep on dancing, don't you? Don't you want to keep on dancing? And he's like, "Yeah, okay. That's like that's like a kiss, but you're kissing your body to rhythm, so that counts, I guess. Yeah, let's go dance."
And so he goes out there to dance with her, and then she like does the like kind of scoot dance where she just scoots away from him as she dances.
Yeah.
And he's just left there kind of flapping his arms. He dances kind of like you think he would. It's kind of like, pet boys, oil change on the sale. Like the old Kristen Dowdy impersonation.
Yeah. So now they're getting back in their vans, and Culver and Jamie are just making out like crazy in their van. And then Jamie's like, "If I hang out with you, is Chef going to kill me?" Because that's like her whole thing, is that she does this flagrant violation of girl code and then spends the rest of the episode or 2 episodes being like, "Oh, Cheffy's angry at me. I'm just afraid that Cheffy's angry at me. Oh my God, she's so angry at me." Like, we know what you're trying to pull. We know this manipulation. You go and you do the shitty thing, and now you're doing kind of a quiet victimization / like, it's like the first step towards creating the smear campaign against Zarina that she's a crazy one. Right?
100%. And they're both doing it. You know, they're both of them are guilty of it. He's like, "She's so crazy. Look how she wants me." And she's like, "Oh my God, don't I have the right to date someone?" And, you know, that is kind of a point. Like, it's a boat. You don't get to just claim the hottest person there. I mean, hottest, and it works out. You don't just get to claim the most muscular person in the room and then everybody else has to keep hands off. Like, all's fair in boning and war or whatever. I get that. But don't be a dick. Just say, "Hey, I really like him and I want to explore where it's going to go. Is it going to really crush you?" Or something. Or somebody say something. But this was shitty. Like, purposely just making out right in front of her face to be dicks and then acting like she's the mean one. Not cool.
Yeah, it's like that. It was just, there was it was almost like, if you're gonna do this dick move, just go all in, but don't do this hedge of like, "Oh, I feel bad now." It's like, if you felt bad, you wouldn't have done it in the first place.
And continue to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're all getting out of the vans back at the boat, and Serena passes them and pushes Culver. And like has this like,
She just shoves his shoulder, and he's like, "Who pushed me? That was fucking mean. That was nice. It was like the time someone ate the last part of the Dutch baby before I even woke up."
"I haven't been pushed that hard since Chef Kim told me, 'Hey, it's past 10. It's time to go to bed, baby.' And cuddled all night." So Culver's just staying on the ramp looking up like, "What do I do? I'm just so weak in the face of such villainy."
And so then Jamie's saying to Culver, "Fuck, Chef hates me. She wouldn't even look at me, and you got a big push." Woo!" And Culver's like, "I just don't like causing any drama." I'm like, you literally made out with a girl, a hot girl, right in front of the girl who you know is into you, and also the girl who you know has been feeding you, and now you're going to pull the Carl line from Summer House, be like, I just don't want any drama, I don't want this. Like, the sign of people who cause drama are the people, like, the first sign that you're a person who causes drama is that you say things like, "I just don't want to cause any drama."
Yeah. And she's like, "I don't want to cause any drama either." "Oh, really? Because you just made out with him right in front of the girl who just told you that she liked him. So you're fucking made for each other, you two." Okay?
Yeah.
So Culver's like, "I'm going to take a shower." And Jamie's like, "I'm coming with you." It's like, okay, you two. Okay, you two who don't want to start any drama or hurt anybody's feelings. Go fuck really loudly in the showers right now.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Go enjoy that. So then Adam, in the crew mess, Adam's asking Margot, like, "Hey, hey, what's going on with Harry?" And Margot's basically like, "Yeah, I see him as a friend and nothing more." And he's like, "Well, you should tell him that." She goes, "No, I don't want to, because like, if I go in there now, he's gonna be excited and think like I'm gonna go in to give him a kiss goodnight, and I think I should wait till tomorrow." And Adam's like, "Bro, just count to 3 and walk in the room. Nothing can go wrong."
You got this, Margie. All right? You got this, Margie.
What could possibly go wrong with the two of them being wasted at the end of the night, being in close quarters?
Yeah, so she does what he says, and she knocks, and she goes in. And Harry's like, "Oh, come in, Like, he's so excited. It's like
a
the
dog.
owner just came home. Yeah, you know. And he's jumping up, waiting for his pretzel, like a little Bueller down there wagging his tail. And Margot's like, wait, don't get too excited. I'm not a cheese curd. Okay, listen, I just want to have a conversation. Wait, do you have zip patches on? You want zip patches on your face? That's so cute.
That's
Oh
so
my
cute, and
gosh.
somehow I really appreciate you making yourself look even more like a 13-year-old. That doesn't creep me out at all.
That
Doesn't
is so
ruin-
adorable. Listen, I know I haven't done any dental work on you, but would you mind if I gave you this little tiny little baby-sized dum-dum to suck on? Here you go. Here you go. You're so cute.
So you're not looking for like a serious relationship, right? And he goes like, no. Is that the answer you're looking for? Because I'm not, and I'm having so much fun with you. You know, the way that two best friends have fun in a friend-like way. And it's just great. I just want to make sure we're still on the same page, you know, a page of a book called Friends, the complete story of the show Friends. You know, could we be on all those pages, please?
I just want to make sure that we're on the same page of our vows that say that we're just going to stay friends. Okay? Am I giving you any mixed signals here? I hope not. And he's like, listen, all we have to be are friends. That's what you want. That's all I want. I want to be friends then. And she's like, okay. So we are on the same page of the mortgage of the house that we're going to buy for us and our babies as friends if we don't meet someone that we're more interested in by the time we're 30, right?
Listen, I'm just more than happy to go with the flow. Like, let's just, you know, I'm happy to have a snuggle buddy. And she goes, yes, I would like a snuggle buddy too. I don't necessarily need that person to be you, but what I can do is do a test run with you so I can know what it feel like to be a snuggle buddy with someone else in as a friend sort of way, right?
Oh, yeah. When he says, he's like, I'd rather have a snuggle buddy. She goes, oh, so now I love you even more. And then she crawls into bed with him. And he's like, let's have a kiss. And then they kiss. And now she's in his bed. I'm like, oh my God.
Margot.
And then it just cuts to her talking to us. And she goes, well, that didn't work. Oh. Instead of making him feel uncomfortable, I just want to do whatever's going to make him feel better.
Well, I mean, listen, that's a great quality in a stew, you know, to be in service of others. But yeah, you got to stand up for yourself there a little bit. You got to do it. So meanwhile, Jamie and Culver are just having very loud sex in the shower still. And Jamie again is like, I feel like Cheffy's going to kill me. Oh yeah. She's going to be so mad. Oh, Serena's such a stupid fucking whore.
I hope she doesn't murder me like you're murdering my vagina right now in the shower. So don't make her the bad guy while you're the one actively being an asshole. Like, you don't care. Just say all's fair in love and war and stop trying to villainize the person that you just tried to humiliate in front of the entire crew and the audience. You suck. You're a terrible fucking person. I don't care that you have perfect skin that I'm jealous of. I don't care. I don't even want to ask you how you keep your pores that tiny or how your eyes are that sparkly or how you come off that sweet, even though you're obviously walking around kindergartens passing out poisoned apples with razors in them just in case somebody, you know, like, what? You're terrible. I don't care how cute.
Yeah, I don't care. Oh, thank you, Dom. Dom
Hi,
brought me
Dom.
coffee. Ronnie says hi. Hi, Ronnie. Tom says hi. I don't care that you
Have a
are
good
the
over the
perfect.
shoulder by. Oh, hi, Ronnie.
I don't care if you are like the perfect mixture of Kate Winslet and Rachel Weisz, and you have beautiful, buffed skin. Looks like a little cherub that you'd get at the Hallmark store, and have beautiful cheekbones, and you are, I don't care because you're a bitch. Listen, if she came in and just was like, you know what? Like, no offense to Zarina, I'm new. I don't know who she is. I meet this guy. I am drawn to him. And why should I have to like put that on hold because of someone that I don't even know has said that they sort of like him and she's had 3 weeks already with him and nothing has happened? I'd be like, still kind of a bitchy move, but like, you know
But you
what?
go.
Like, I get it. Like,
yeah,
I get
you
it.
go. I would say that too. I'd be like, you go, because that's at least being yourself. But this whole like, I hope she's not mad. Oh my God, mad at me. Like, come on. Can we stop? It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappins com.
If you're hiring, you know it's incredibly hard to attract top talent. And with the current labor market conditions, it's even harder than ever. That's why you want a partner who gets it. ZipRecruiter.
You know who knows how tough it is right now? ZipRecruiter does. But guess what? They figured out solutions for the problems that you're facing.
See for yourself. Right now, you can try them for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Crappins.
ZipRecruiter is ready to tackle your recruiting challenges.
Yeah, to reach more of the right people, ZipRecruiter posts your job to over 100 job sites.
And listen, the pricing at ZipRecruiter is straightforward. There are no surprise costs.
Yeah, want first dibs on talent? ZipRecruiter lets you invite the most qualified people to apply for your job.
Team up with a hiring partner who understands what you need. ZipRecruiter.
4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Just go to this exclusive web address to try ZipRecruiter for free. ZipRecruiter.com/Crappins.
Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/Crappens.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Since his death in 2009, the world has struggled with how Michael Jackson should be remembered, as the king of pop or as a monster. I'm Leon Nafok, the host of Fiasco and the co-creator of Slow Burn.
And I'm Jay Smooth, a hip-hop journalist and cultural commentator. Michael Jackson was accused of child molestation for the first time in 1993. Our new podcast, Think Twice, Michael Jackson, is the story of what came before and what came after.
Throughout the podcast, we explore what makes Michael Jackson seemingly uncancelable. And we dig into the complicated feelings so many of us have when we hear Billie Jean at the grocery store.
Through dozens of original interviews with people who watched the story unfold firsthand, Think Twice is an attempt to reconcile our conflicted emotions about Michael Jackson, the man, with our deep-seated love of his art.
Listen to Think Twice, Michael Jackson, wherever you get your podcasts, or you can binge the entire series ad-free on Audible or the Amazon Music app.
Commercial. Okay, so we're between scenes right now, so I just have to ask you a personal question.
Yes.
So, you know, I'm an addictive person. I get addicted to a lot of stuff. This isn't an ad, by the way. I know that sounds like an ad. Hey, man, you know I'm an addictive person. But it's not an ad. So I've started craving cigarettes again, right? Because I haven't smoked in a long time, and I do not vape anymore. And for some reason, it's just like, it's been a while. I mean, it's been 3 or 4 months now that I haven't picked up the vapey. So you would think it's over, but I just keep wanting a cigarette. And then I've been trying to be healthy, so I've been like eating healthy and not binging. And I'm not fucking anybody. It's like, where are all my addictions? None of them are active. So long story short, I started chewing gum. Okay, a lot of gum, really thick gum, and I chew it really hard, and I will find myself just to not eat at night, and I have some kind of taste. I'm like sitting there watching TV all night, like chomp, 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 chomping the gum. And now my gum hurts in the front of my mouth, my literal gum, not my actual chewing gum. Do you think my gum hurts because I've been chewing the gum?
But do you chew the gum in the front of your mouth?
No, but I try and evenly rotate it and avoid caps. So like I keep it like in the middle of my mouth and then like rotate it. So sometimes a little bit, but
you know, I don't know. I mean, maybe you just need to floss. Are you flossing?
Oh yeah, I floss, and then I got that water pick thing you told me about. So like I use that too. So I'm like really well flossed. Like look what I could do. Like that's all air through slits, guys.
Wow.
Wow, some pretty good flossing.
That's like Baleen right there. That's impressive.
I'm like a twink at a nightclub 3 years ago. That's how well I'm flossing right now.
Flossy. You're like Fergie, bitch icon. I don't know. I don't know if that's related to that, but you know, the truth is what I am starting to discover is that I feel like with middle age just comes teeth problems. Like I have an area where like if I have literally something as small as like a fleck of salt and it gets into like onto one of my teeth, when I bite down on it, I'm like, ow. And there's no microfracture or anything. It's just like I've got high points and it like wedges. It's just teeth are just a disaster at this age. That's what I'm discovering. Like I pine for the days when you can just eat things just free, like with abandon. I just want to be able to bite something and not have to like aim it for certain teeth.
Yeah,
you know, like
100%.
I don't want like danger zones.
Yeah, I have to do that too, and I hate
Yeah.
it. And
And then,
I lived down the street from this older woman that I used to talk to. She was always outside smoking when I was walking my dog, and so we became friends. Because that's how I roll. And she said, so people always ask me, what's one thing being older that you could change if you. And I don't have regrets. Fuck regrets. But one, take care of your teeth. Take care of your teeth.
Yeah.
And so now that always, as I chew gum now, like last night I was watching that show Silo on Apple TV, which by the way,
is that about farming?
It might as well be.
Is it about
Honestly, for as much
corporate?
as happens.
Is it about corporate organization? What silo all this?
It's about people who live in a silo underground because they think the world has ended. And you're like, has the world ended? What's happening? It's kind of a sci-fi type show. And I read all the books and still don't remember what's going on in this show. I read the books years ago. So anyway, I'm watching this show and they stole the soundtrack from Westworld, which you don't watch, but it's like dong, dong,
and the unlocking.
Dong. Dong. That's how the music goes, okay?
Sounds
and
great.
through the whole entire show, it just goes dong. Dong. And I'm chewing my gum like and then I'm hearing in my head, take care of your teeth. Take care of your teeth, Ronnie Sabe.
It's true. We got to take care of our teeth because I find it's like whack-a-mole, okay? Because inevitably, like I've had like 2 or 3 microfractures, I think just from grinding. And I have like a mouth guard, but I've got microfractures. And then those microfractures become crowns. Crowns become root canals. So I only have 1 root canal. But like you get the crown on and then everything's fixed. You're like, joy. And then something else pops up somewhere else. You're like, now I can't eat on that tooth. And this last one is I am actually praying that it becomes I feel like it's a microfracture, but they can't find anything. I'm like, I want it to be a microfracture. I want someone to be able to do something about this freaking tooth. It drives me nuts.
Okay, well, let's get back to the show. Jamie and
great.
Culver, you suck. Okay.
I didn't know I needed that dental discussion, but I really needed to let that out. Thanks,
I did
guys.
too, so thank you for that. But
I think your gum is that's as a non-dentist, I would say it doesn't seem related to your gum.
Okay.
But you know what? I'm sure we have dentists who do listen to the show and they will chime in.
Yeah, let me know because I don't want to hurt my gum, because it does hurt and that sucks. Okay, so because also my gums have improved from quitting smoking. By the way, if people didn't know that, that really helps your gums.
Do you have a Sonicare toothbrush?
I do. I don't love that. I feel like I'm jackhammering my goddamn mouth. I have to be
Don't press
honest.
it. You don't have to press it hard on your mouth. You just sort of glide over.
It's like, but I have it on the whitening setting at all times, and that, the first time I turned it on, I almost fell over in the shower because
It is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. Talk about microfractures. Macrofracture. Okay, so Aisha and Serena's bunk. So Serena's upset. She's like, "No, it's over for me. There's ugly, fat, stupid Serena going to sleep now, signing off." And Aisha's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I love you so much."
I'm sorry. I don't know why that was so funny to me. Ugly fat Serena's signing off. That was just very funny to just gonna sign off.
So then we go to Joao, who's lying in bed, and he's in Culver's room, and his room, and so he hears the boning coming from the bathroom, and he's just laughing, and then he just turns over to go to sleep. But he tells us, "Pretty impressive, actually. On deck, I don't think this effort is put on the guests at all. Just saying."
Leave the Z for Zim. So then Margot goes back to the mess to report back to Adam. And she's like, "It went well." And Adam's like, "Yeah, because you were in there for a while." She goes, "Yeah, because he started snuggling me." He's like, "What's the matter with you?"
She's like, "Did that do the reverse of what I was trying to do? I think I did a bad job." And he's like, "I'm going to bed. Peace." And then he hits his head on the cabinet on the way out. She goes, "Oh my God." And he goes, "You know what? Let's not even talk about it. Don't even talk about it." All right.
"I did it for my brothers and sisters." Yeah, it's bad when the guy who can't swim and has signed up to be a decky is telling you what's the matter with you. then you know you've got a real problem.
So Culver walks Jamie back to her bunk and then gets in bed with her. And Margot's coming to bed at the same time. She goes, oh, gosh, good night, guys. Good night. And he's like, Margarita. It's like, I'm not sleeping in there.
Yeah, I don't even know where she went. Oh, she wound up sleeping in... No, wait, that was...
Wait, was that a different episode?
I think that was a different episode. I think that was later because she wound up sleeping in Aisha's bed because Aisha was with Scott. But that's like... I mean, it all blurs together. It's a whole bunch of,
lots of fucking.
Bunks. Lots of fucking.
Lots
so
of
now
fucking.
It's the morning.
Lots of people fucking who don't sit around worrying if chewing gum is ruining their actual gums. I can guarantee you that. Not one of these people today was like, hey, do you use the Sonicare? What do you think about stress fractures?
I'll tell you one thing. Culver's the one who's going to need to pay attention to that the most because his teeth are it's like Stonehenge. Like they're enormous, those teeth. So
he does have Phyllis Diller teeth for sure. There's something going on there.
He literally looks like a phalanx of medieval army coming with those shields. Like, it's like a snowplow of teeth that's arriving.
We shouldn't shame people's looks. So instead, let's shame fish's looks. This fish that is coming up in the close-up has the widest fish mouth I've ever seen. And I've seen some pretty... What is it?
A Culver fish. By the way, I'm not shaming Culver's teeth. I'm speaking out of admiration. I'm just impressed by his teeth.
I'm kidding because I just wanted to say shaming fish. This fish is... Like, I care if we shame someone's teeth.
I literally love
have
shaming
we met?
fish.
I do too.
By the way, another thing people can do on our Instagram, if they come to our Instagram, not only can they watch the latest Crappy Hour, they can also watch... when we went to the Atlanta Aquarium in 2019 and we talked to all the fish and it's still up on our Instagram as a highlight.
Oh my God, that's so true. We did do that. That was a really fun day.
I think we shamed some fish in that. So that was like we're really good at shaming fish.
We sure did. We sure love to shame some fish.
There was like a whale shark.
So this fish is ridiculous looking, has this huge like Lisa Rinna mouth. If this fish had a fist, it could put its fist in its mouth. I'm guaranteeing you that. I mean, this fish came on and I was like, oh, keep it together. I mean, it was just like a braggart fish.
I'm so mad because I was happy because I saw the 5-head fish, the Napoleon fish that you hate. I saw it. At some point over the course of 2 hours, that fish showed up and I was like, oh, yeah. Ronnie is triggered right now.
Well, they did something special with that fish today, but we'll talk about that when we get to it.
We'll get to that.
So in the morning, everybody's getting up and Aisha's checking on Serena and she's asking her, how are you feeling? She's like, well, a bit pissed off with the situation last night, to be honest. You know what? Because it's just girl code, hey? I mean, it's just girl code, am I right?
Luann's like, oh, you're going to have to pay a royalty if you say that one more time. So then Aisha's like, oh, sorry, darling. I'm so sorry. And then Jamie, meanwhile, in her room, is saying to Margot, oh, Cheffy was a bit angry at me for having a good time. Oh. She was not angry at you for having a good time. She was angry at you because she said, I'm interested in Culver. And then you just totally ignored it and went for Culver right in front of her face.
And Margot's like, well, because he had a little crush. She had a little crush. That's why. And Jamie's like, well, she tells us, I never want to piss somebody off, but sometimes that's just the nature of yacht life. And if I have a crush, all bets are off. And the producer's like, do you always get what you want? And she's like, yes.
And the producer like loses his mind. He's like, ha, 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 ha. He's like, Bryn, oh my God. I'm like, that's someone who's running one of those things about Roni. So Zarina is being, of course, very cold to Culver in the kitchen. And Culver's like, hey, I can clean the kitchen if you want. And she's like, just not even falling for his cleaning trap. And then we're just seeing morning stuff. Aisha's putting contacts into Jason's eyes again. And she's sort of giving some orders to her stews. And then Harry goes up to Culver. And he's like, so Margot had a chat with me last night and like wondering if I'm looking for something serious or casual. And she thought the date was like a serious thing. And I just said, I'm open to anything. Like, let's go with the flow. And like, she's like, okay, cool. So I'm pretty sure that she's super, super, super into me. That's the vibe I got.
Isn't it crazy that she thought that was serious? That date, serious. kidding me? She was like, that was serious. I'm like, please stop. Like, I'm surprised your mother wasn't on FaceTime taking prom pictures, like, through her iPhone. It was serious.
And then there was this super cringy moment. They're talking, they're on the outside, and Margot's on the inside, and they're separated by a window. So Harry sees her, and he's like, oh. So he breathes on the window and makes a heart in the condensation. And Margot on the inside is like, uh-oh. Okay, let me just wave at everyone else out the window to show it's a platonic wave. Oh, God. Oh, God, hearts in the windows.
Look at me waving at Culver, too. That's how much that meant. So then we go to the galley, and Aisha is checking on Serena again. And Serena's like, fine, I'm really fine. 5 trotters left. Time flies when you're crying in the corner, hating yourself. I mean, it was fine until I actually walked over to the microwave and accidentally looked up and saw my reflection back and saw the fucking donkey from Shrek. That was really nice to see. So thanks a lot for making me feel that way.
But everyone loves the donkey from Shrek. No, Joao, you're supposed to say you don't look like the donkey from Shrek.
I'm sure the donkey from Shrek would get laid plenty if he was in Zim.
Actually, in Zimbabwe, the movie's just called Donkey. That's how much he's loved. So,
how hasn't Donkey gotten his own movie? I mean, Puss in Boots did, and those are great. Those are great movies.
The donkey. I think the donkey is the worst. I'm sorry. Love Eddie Murphy. Hate the donkey.
I mean, who doesn't love Eddie Murphy? I love Eddie Murphy.
I love Eddie Murphy. I'm just saying I don't like Donkey. I think Donkey's annoying.
Well, I sure love Puss in Boots. I'll say that. I will never forget Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. What a film! I saw that on an airline.
We're talking about Puss. You can't just do that. You can't just like. I'm debating Donkey, and you can't just swap in.
I'm just saying, like spinoff characters. I feel like Donkey should get one because they could maybe make Donkey more palatable to you if he had a spinoff like Puss in Boots did. That's from the same movie, right?
I would like a Merchant Ivory production of Donkey, where we get a tortured, compelling portrait of this animal that was sent into this world, and then I'll be like, yes, actually, that was like a very layered and nuanced performance by the donkey.
You're like, I'm going to read the book that this film is based on for the next 3 years.
Donkey by Jane Campion. I did read much more of Dune. I spent my hurricane reading some Dune, but it's so slow. I'm sorry. Like people walking around in a desert. It's like really one of my least favorite things in books and movies is when there's like a situation and things go bad, and then people have to walk through deserts or woods.
I hate it.
It always goes forever.
Yeah, I call those destination entertainment, where it's just people going from place to place. I hate that shit. The Walking Dead, literally, it's The Walking Alive too, because all they do is walk. They'll be like, oh my God, we can find out what causes zombie apocalypse in Georgia, but we have to walk there. And then they walk there for an entire season as people walking. Then they get there and they're like, uh-oh, all these people are dead. Guess we're going to have to go to the other CDC in California, but we're going to have to walk there. And then it's another 2 seasons of them fucking walking.
I hate that. Or like Harry Potter did it. There was a whole Harry Potter episode with the movie where they walked around in the woods. And it's part of like classic storytelling. You go on a quest. But honestly, I feel like I don't need the quest part. I'm like, just get there already. And like in Dune, they've honestly been in the desert for so long, walking around. And then Paul, who's the lead, which is I still think it's ridiculous that this futuristic story centers around someone named Paul. And he's like, I just realized my mother's the enemy. And it's like, your mother's not the enemy. She's like, you're the enemy, Paul. I'm so sick of you, Paul. It's my little micro Dune review as we are. I'm at page 400 out of like 1,200 right now.
Jeez. Yeah, that's a lot. I'm trying to remember who all the people are because I watched the season. I tried to read that when I was younger and couldn't get through it. And then I watched the show or the movie and really liked the movie. But even the movie felt like walking through a desert for 10 years. And that was just 2.5 hours. So
yeah, because the book starts off there like it's like royalty and everything's nice, and they live in this like, nice palace. They got lots of water, and they've got they're like they're very privileged people on this planet. And now, of course, shit went down. And now they're walking around the desert, and like I don't know if I want to watch it's like I don't know if I want to like watch my Real Housewives suddenly have to just like walk across a desert, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not a destination.
I tuned in for the Real Housewives.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay,
the real June wives. So yeah. So then pref sheet meeting time. Okay, so Beck and Michelle. Beckett and Michelle or Beck and Michelle? I don't know.
Becky.
Becky
Becky
and
Matson,
Michelle.
in fact. Becky Matson and her wife, Michelle Harrington.
Stay-at-home mother. One of them, Becky, is a stay-at-home mother, and Michelle owns a chain of grocery stores. They'll be joined by their kids. I'm like, oh, God, these fucking kids are going to be guilting everybody over plastic bags. I feel like that's what you do as the children of a grocery store owner. You know, you're like, really? Can we like get some paper bags? Can we have all of our food delivered in paper bags? That'd be cool.
I was like, good luck, everyone, going to those grocery stores, bagging your own food, because we all know the people who are like the bag boys and girls are these people's kids.
Yes. But they probably don't even do that anymore because grocery stores just don't believe in service anymore. Let's just fire all the humans and make Ronnie carry his own goddamn everything to the everywhere. Okay?
Oh, you don't like self-checkout, right?
You know, because I buy a lot of vegetables these days, and I hate they can't fit the sticker on there right, and the sticker gets all crumpled up, and then it won't bleep in right. And then you have to look it up through the thing, and then I always forget to weigh it. I put it in the bag, and then I keep trying to scan. I'm like, this scanner's broken. They're like, you didn't weigh the peach, sir. You have to put the peach on the weigher thing. It's like, it's just annoying, you know. I want an old bitchy Texas lady chomping her gum in my face, like, oh really? That's all we're getting today, honey? You're forgetting your ice cream. Like, I miss those ladies. I miss the judgment.
Yeah, well, that lady unfortunately is walking across a desert at the moment in pursuit of water.
You better check your doom privilege, bitch.
Now, you listen here, you sandworm. If you try to even eat me, you're going to have a lot of indigestion because I don't give up easily whether I'm on sand or in your belly.
I'm no stranger to sandworms. I've been married.
So anyway, so Becky and Michelle are coming, and Joao's like, it's always different for us. We just had porn stars on, and now we have a family coming on, so we have to adapt ourselves to give them more of an experience suited to them. I'm like, oh, thanks for explaining what hosting involves. And it's like, yes, you have guests, and you adapt your service for the guests. Congratulations.
Yeah, welcome to service. Wow, isn't it crazy? Everybody you wait on is not the same person.
In Zimbabwe, we give the same service to every single person, but on a yacht, we have to tailor it.
I went and I waited tables for one day, and I waited on a man who didn't have any hair, and then I waited on a lady who was haired, a haired person. It was very, very difficult to adjust my service.
So Becky and Michelle want to do a holiday. They want to have a holiday dinner. They want various holidays represented at dinner. So that's going to be their challenge. And now there's a deck team meeting, and Joao's like, okay, hello, non-Zimbabweans. So I know that there's been a bit of bitching last night on all sides. I ended up coming in, and you guys are a team, and you guys all had another person, and you guys quite liked him very much because he was an idiot and didn't teach you anything, and you guys just goofed around all day. And I've come in to change things, and that's why they've called me in here. Also because he committed sexual assault. So if there's a problem, say there's a problem. Tell me how you really feel, and we can move forward, okay? Because that's what I want to hear. And of course, all the deckies are like, just pure silence. After all of Adam's bitching, like, you know what? Like, I'm a real man. Say it to my face. All that. But he literally just told Margot, hey, you got to go in there. You got to tell Harry how you feel. Okay. You got to tell him how you feel. And now Joao's like, so if you got a problem, say it. And he's like, yeah, I got to get back to watching the 34th viewing of Kangaroo Jack. So I'm good here.
He's like, hey, can we finish this up? I got some laps I don't want to swim. And then Harry's just smiling his big, stupid, goofy smile. He's like, Joan's like, say anything at all. Anybody want to say anything at all? And then we get my favorite sound. It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappins commercial. And then we come back from commercial and we get a close-up of the five-head fish, my favorite fish.
Oh, yeah, there it was.
Fish. God, what a stupid fish.
Big, silly fish.
Big, stupid ass fish. And they know it's stupid, too, because they show it every episode, this five-head fish.
That fish just brought someone a Diet Coke when they ordered a lemonade. Oh, I'm sorry. This is for a different table.
but gets by on its like goofy smile. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, that poor 5-head fish. It's okay.
Yeah.
Let's still tip him 25%."
Yeah, but like 5 years from now, it's like starring in Fish Dune because it's like, oh yeah, back when I was waiting tables, I was such a bad waiter, but I just knew my opportunity would come for me.
Yeah, and you're like, I feel kind of bad for that fish because, it must have a hard life being like a 5-head and everything. But then the fish is like, hey, you're always so nice to me. Would you like to go on a date? And you're like, no. You're fat and ugly anyway, dumb bitch. That's this 5-head fish. It's one of those.
A lot of anger. I think this 5-head fish might wind up with a dependency issue. As it reaches fame in the fish community,
at the very least,
Fish Dune takes off.
At the very least, it will become dependent on like baseball caps.
It will need to, or bangs.
Self-preservation. It's sick of being turned down by people who pretended to be nice to him that whole time. So then Joao, we come back from break, and Joao's like, okay, well, I've spoken to the captain, and he said specifically that the work aspect needs to pick up. And I enjoy you guys. I'm willing to help you, and I expect that aspect back. So let's just work through it. And Harry's like, okay, we'll say something then. Don't say a stupid, gangly-faced motherfucker. I thought you wanted me to. Okay, go ahead. Say it now. So he's like, well, maybe you were contemplating at the start, but now that you've actually said what you're thinking, I guess I kind of understand what you're doing. Do you want to have a cuddle?
Actually, I do. And Culver's like, he's like, so if you just communicate it through, which I think we do that anyway with the communication. So I think it's, yeah. They kind of like say affirmations towards each other without really resolving anything. It's like, okay, good meeting. So then Adam walks away and he's like, fuck, man, fuck.
Yeah.
So, dude, why don't you say something?
Yeah,
why don't you say, I feel like we're doing all this work and you're not helping us?
Yeah, you're such a wuss in this aspect. And also Culver is so full of shit. He's like, you know what? If you just communicated through, he did communicate. He like, stop making me stand up for Joao. He's telling you what to do and you're rolling your eyes and not doing it.
Yeah. It's really frustrating that we have to be on Joao's side so far, but like he's literally been correct in every single situation so far. So then Aisha checks in with Margot, something like, oh, did you do the pets downstairs? And she's like, yeah, sure did. She goes, thank you.
And then she gives her a huge hug like she just came back from mission,
I know. Aisha had the most Aisha episodes this week. Like especially the second one, she is out of control with her voice. But it's like, it is like the funniest thing in the world to me.
Aisha gonna Aisha.
Aisha gonna Aisha. So then, so now over in the galley, Jamie slinks up next to Zarina and sort of puts her arms around her waist. He goes, "Hey, honey, I don't want to make you upset, and I feel that I have." And
Zarina's, that baby voice. Oh, no. The papa topo, you hurt, baby. You hurt, baby.
Zarina's like, don't touch me, please. I'm an ogre, okay? It's okay. It's not your fault. I just need some space, babe, because I'm a size of a monstrosity. Please, babe, get out of my way.
Like, oh, I'm sorry. And then she tells us, oh, fuck off, really? I just feel a bit rejected. And it's like, gives me flashbacks of my old childhood, like Culver's the jock, I'm the 5-head fish, and Jamie's the cheerleader. And now I'm going to put the head brace on and go eat crayons in the corner. I was like, oh my God. First of all, that is so cute for so many reasons. A, because she identifies with the 5-head fish, which is adorable. B, because she had a head brace, which I totally believe, and that's hilarious. And C, because she had to eat crayons in the corner, which is why she avoids all color in her foods, which is why she only makes brown slop with brown things in it.
Or also, conversely, when you mash all those crayons together, you're probably just going to get brown. So it all makes sense now.
Yeah.
I am loving Zarina. Like she is quickly becoming one of my favorite chefs. That I feel like between Zarina and Rachel and Jess from Adventure, like we've had like some great chefs this year. on the below decks. I mean, I loved Jess.
I like that they kind of broke that mold where they're like, you know what? We've got 18 million below decks. We don't have to get an evil chef every single time. You know, like let's change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I really think for the next winter house, let's just put like below deck chefs in there, because I would love to see Jess and Zarina and Rachel dealing with the likes of Ben and Leon and anyone else. That
it would
crazy
just be
British
like
guy.
Train Spotting, wouldn't it? I mean, it would just be people like doing heroin. I feel like it would just be heroin, babies crawling on ceilings, but then the guys would be finding a way to bowl with, you know, like pans in the backyard or something.
What was Malia's awful boyfriend's name again? Who like freaked out about the cucumbers? Tom.
Wasn't it Tom? Chef
Yeah.
Tom?
It's like, I have to throw this cucumber in the bin now because he didn't slice it properly.
Look at this potato, nasty little potato. Get the fuck out of my face, potato.
I meant to slice this avocado. You woke me up to slice an avocado. Now I have to slice. I meant to do this. This is ridiculous.
Yes, that was Hannah's Gone season, right? Where she just wanted to be with Tom so badly.
But she had to be in the same
that
room
work
as Tom.
out for you. Yeah, had that Tom karma work out for you. Yep. So then the guests arrive in 30. So Margot is like, so Aisha, did you want to do Sour Patches with the cheese board? Because there's going to be kids. Aisha's pretty young. She talks like she's 70 years. I know that she hugs everybody who comes through the door and talks like she's 70, but she's pretty young. And it's very funny how she treats these younger people like they're 5 years old. Like, we need Sour Patches. I love kids. I just love them. I just want to make sure that if they lose a tooth, there will be $1 under the pillow. You've got to make kids trust you. They're not going to do well in the world.
I know. Aisha's like 27 or 28, and one of these kids is 25. She's like, oh, I just love the youth. So she's really excited. So Becky comes on first. She goes, do I have permission to board, Captain? And Aisha's really excited. She goes, oh, I don't think we've ever had a family before. We're so excited. The last people who were on were all porn stars. So if you happen to see a dildo, just report it to me. Okay, enjoy.
If I'd known you were coming, I would have tried to collect some of the sperm. I mean, it was free anyway. You guys should have called me before you came all the way over here.
And this sweet girl, one of the daughters, goes, well, it's going to be a little nutso, so I'm sorry in advance. She's like, oh, you poor thing. Did you not hear me say we just had porn stars on? Okay, here's your high C.
Please don't make me think of nuts anymore.
We've had 6 straight charters in a row going back through below deck sailing yacht that have involved flamboyantly gay men with insecure issues. Don't you worry, darling.
So they get a boat tour, and one of the kids is like, oh my God, Mom, that blanket on the bed is like your blanket at home. And Becky's like, yeah, when I make the bed at home, I make the blanket into a heart. Yeah, you're just highlighting at like how terrible this crew is with doing towel art and blanket art, because they're really bad at it, right? Like they put the blanket on the middle of the bed and then they squish it in the middle to look kind of like a bow. Where's my duck? Where's my swan?
Where's my rocket ship?
Where's my crucifix? Like how, you know, like
where's my depiction of Nancy Kerrigan in towel form? Excuse me.
Where is my chapter 1, page 1 of Dune?
Where is my sandworm? That is literally the easiest thing you could have depicted with a towel. Yeah, so by the way, that's our second heart-shaped thing. Harry's excited, like, you make your towels into a heart. Well, I'm going to do that for Margot. So there's more awkwardness between Jamie and Zarina, and then the family's sort of eating snacks at the bar, and they're all from Wisconsin. So Margot's like, hey, I'm from Wisconsin. And she's like, oh, yeah, you're from Wisconsin. And Margot's like, can I go back with you guys? I'm just kidding. No, seriously, I really want to come back. Just kidding. I know I give a lot of mixed messages, but this one's really true. Like, I really want to go back with you guys. Just kidding.
And Aisha asks them who just graduated, and one of the kids is like, she just graduated with a neuroscience degree. I mean, who? does that? And Becky's like, those three over there are geniuses. They've got their father's brain. And this one here is with me. She's an idiot.
I was like, idiot. Mom! Well, I'm sorry you did try to bag a watermelon with a gallon of milk. You think that's going to work out well? Okay, come on.
This one still doesn't know how to weigh an onion. Every single time puts it straight into the bag. Idiot.
Do you know how many times I've had to tell her this isn't an onion, this is garlic? She just can't get her allium straight.
So the son's like, geez, Mom, that was criminal. Oh, I'm so excited for a family to be here. I love kids. I don't let my nieces and nephews win at chess or any game I play, though, because guess what? Life is harsh and they need to know that.
They're also 1 year old. Just imagining her playing like Settlers of Catan or like Twilight Imperium with like a toddler.
I just feel like she's like my dad, who would stand at the edge of the pool and just push me in and stare at me while I'm flailing and be like, oh, you can do it. It's like the nicest people are always the ones to push kids in the water and wait for them to almost drown. To learn what? Did I learn how to swim from that? I didn't. Okay, well, I learned how to hold my breath better. I did learn that, which I guess could come in handy one day.
It's like Gina Davis in The Long Kiss Goodnight when Thora Birch breaks her arm and she goes, "Get over it, kid. Life is pain." I'm like, yes, Gina Davis. Get used to it. So, Joao
River Kid.
It's a great movie. Joao tells Adam to do 4 figures of 8 with the ropes. He's like teaching him things. And Adam's like, oh, I always do a round turn and then that's it. He's like, no, you can't do a round turn because there's no tension. Okay, it's got to feel like Zimbabwe, full of tension. And Adam goes, the way I grew up, my mother always taught me you give the janitor the same amount of respect as you give the CEO. And with Joao, I'm starting to realize he has one of those personalities. It kind of makes me think of him in a different light. I'm like, wait, so you are now saying you feel respect from Joao, even though you've spent the past like 2 episodes bitching about him? I'm so confused.
Yeah, I think that Adam just needs guidance. I think Adam's just one of those workers who will bitch and bitch and bitch until he's called out. And then he's like, okay, yes, sir. And then now he's going to be in love with Joao because Joao is giving him the stern discipline that he needs.
Yeah, he kind of has like very obvious daddy issues because it sounds like he was raised without too much of a father in his life. So like he's like angry when the boat dad is like not giving him attention, but then once the boat dad is like, here, let me show you how to ride a bike, he's like, yeah, I like this guy, he's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't give you respect till the first time you ground him, you know?
Yeah.
So then people are changing into their wets, like their clothes that they can get wet, the white ones. And Culver cuts off the sleeves of his. We cut to Culver just cutting the sleeves off of his shirt. Where the fuck is this guy?
So then Culver with his new like, what's like the shirt version of a jort? he's now walking into the galley. He's like, hey, Cheffy, how's it going? What is that? Don't touch that. That's ogre food meant for me, apparently.
He's like, ha ha ha. She says, what are you laughing at? And he's like, you just said don't eat it. Don't eat that, Culver. And she goes, I did. And then he laughs at us and he's like, wow, the hand that feeds me is not happy. It's turning into a fist coming my way. I really hope these kisses are worth it, because if I don't get fed anymore, oh no.
Yeah, you can't do that. Like, you want to stay on that chef's good side. So now Culver goes up to Joao and he's like, hey, I felt like I needed some shorter sleeves, so I cut my sleeves off. And because Joao's looking at like the scraggly, cut line, and there's probably some
he grabs the sleeves
threads.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
And Joao's like, okay, change it, bud. He's like, change it. It's like, yeah, you can't leave it like this. He's like, but it's so hot though. As if like having your forearms exposed is going to change everything, right?
Yeah. And Joao's like, we're on a fucking super yacht. If someone brought that uniform and they gave it to you to wear and you can't cut your sleeves off, you look like Fred Flintstone, mate. Now figure your shit out.
So then Harry inside goes up to Margot and goes, "Hey, are you okay after our last chat? I couldn't help but notice that, like, when I did a heart in my own breath on the window, you didn't actually draw a little arrow on your side of the window. And I was sort of hoping we could sort of have some sort of coordination with our deep love for each other in window form. You know what I'm saying?"
I just want to make sure you know that I didn't want to give you the wrong impression with that whole date thing, you know? When I got on my knees and put that ring around your finger, it was just for fun. It was just for fun. It wasn't anything else other than fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We're just having casual friend on friend fun, the sort of fun that, like, when you see two people who don't know each other on a subway and they both get on the subway together and then one of them gets off at a stop and the other one keeps on going and they never see each other again. That kind of fun, That's it.
He's like, I'm just going to keep charming her with my looks and my accent. And slow and steady wins the race. No, it doesn't. And whoever told you that is a race loser. I can guarantee you that. Okay? It's a race loser who has decided that they're going to be telling people the rest of their lives that their way is the best way, even though they come in last every single fucking time. Okay?
Listen, I believe that slow and steady can win the race. The problem is that Harry never enrolled in the race and he thinks he has.
They don't win in timed races. You know what I mean? They win when you change the rules of a race and you're like, hey, it's life. Some people get there at 30, some people get there at 80. Slow and steady wins the race. Like, that's not winning a race.
Yeah.
Taking 50 years longer.
He already had your slow and steady moment. Okay, you had the slow and steady moment. Earlier in the season, when you two kissed drunkenly, you were slow and steady, and you guys kissed. And now the race is over, and it's time for you to move on to new races.
It's time for you to choose a different lane. Okay, you can't necessarily change your vehicle in the middle of the race. You're Harry, but change lanes. You know what I mean? Like, try and drive around some other cars that maybe you could keep up with, because this is not working.
I say, you know what? Margot will continue with the racing. You choose a new event. I say follow in the steps of Gina Davis and be an archer. I don't know. It's just racing. I don't think the race is for you.
You're having a big Gina Davis day today.
I'm going to find a third reference and it's going to be fabulous.
It's going to be a big one. So Culver is changing and he goes, I knew he was going to do that shit. Which is hilarious. Yeah, because you're not supposed to do that. So then Culver, so then he's all mad. So he goes to the kitchen and he's like, I guess I'm going to have to make some avo and toast. And Serena just ignores him and keeps chopping. And he's like, okay, here I go. Ow, look at me cutting this avo. Ow, I can't even finish the word avocado. Ow, this is so hard.
And then he is like eating it. Because we cut to a scene of Joao and Jason talking about setting up a barbecue, and it's going to be on this little island, a little key, but like at high tide, the island goes away. And then we come back, and Culver's still eating his avocado toast, and he goes, "This needs more salt. Can't really compete with your food, Cheffy." And she just says nothing and starts salting her lobster tails like, this is what I choose to salt, not your fucking avocado toasts.
Yeah, fuck this guy. So then in the mess, Joao's like, let's get prepped for beach setup. Drinks and stuff. I'll meet you up there, Sim. And Adam's like, yo, take your time, bro. Take your time. And then he goes up the stairs and he's like, fucking shit, bro. Fucking shit.
Yeah, what was that? I just can't understand.
Adam I think it's just in his personality. I think he got in trouble a lot when he was younger for back talk. He probably got like spanked a lot or like smacked when he had back talk. So now he just does it when he walks away, no matter what. Even if it's something good, he's traumatized. So now he walks away from every situation. Like, he would probably go to Becky's grocery store and they'd say, thanks for coming. And he'd be like, yeah, thanks a lot. Everything was great. Yeah, I love this store. Fucking bitch. He walks off. It's just, there he is.
He's so ungrateful to that beautiful little grocery store. Mm-hmm. So, he's probably also mad because the bag girl put his watermelon and jug of milk in the same bag and it broke on the way to the car. Let's be honest.
Who puts eggs in the same goddamn bag as melons? Like, what the fuck?
That would be my fourth child. She does not have her father's brain. Sorry. So the girl, meanwhile, one of the girls is like, I have a beer bong. Look, Aisha, it's a beer bong. She's like, oh, so you just poured in there. That's awesome. How sweet. How lovely. Still, this is very, very quaint. And if you think you're being hardcore, you're definitely missing the mark right now.
Becky's like, yeah, I got him little beer bungs for Christmas. Isn't that cute? I was like, aim higher, Becky. Aim higher. Okay. So then we go to the beach. Now, this is just a little tiny, like you said, like this little tiny slip of land in the middle of the ocean. So you know it's going to be trouble, right?
Yeah.
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 I got really tired because I said that, and then I just looked at all the words still to come on these notes. I was like, wow.
There's a lot of show left. Okay. So we're on like they bunch of them go to this little tiny little island to set up the barbecue, and Culver was like staring at a shell, and then there's some personnel swapping and everything, and then excitingly, Big Star arrives. A literal star has arrived. It's Starfish. Starfish is on the beach.
Hi, Starfish.
Starfish, welcome back to Below Deck.
And this was the big Muppet one, right? Wasn't this like a big bluey haired one? Or is that from a different?
No, I think this is a fairly standard one, and it was like looking for a hug because it was like lying out with a starfish, but it's like, but the edge of its like its like legs were sort of curling upward, like hug me, love me, welcome me,
hug me, hole out. I want to hug you like this, so my hole's out.
Mama, and they're like, oh, it has attachment issues.
Adam's like, motherfucker, starfish. So
what's it done for his brothers and sisters lately, huh?
So they love the food. Now they're like switching people on. Tender's going out. Tender's coming in. Let's switch people around. And Margot's telling Serena, she's like, wow, you're such a good, talented chef. You've never made anything bad. And she goes, well, I have made bad choices. And she points at Culver. And
directly in his face, by the way.
Culver goes, dang.
She is so savage to Culver. It's amazing. So far she has shoved him and pointed at him and said, I've made bad choices. So
he's such an absolute wuss of a man to not even be able to say, sorry, I hurt your feelings. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Just to smile blankly.
To have the nerve to come in and be like, well, I guess I have to make my own avocado toast. You're about to have to dig your own fucking grave, biatch.
Yeah.
Okay?
So that they're all eating on this key, and it's beautiful, it's fun, it's remote, it's lovely, but the tide is coming in, and they're about to just be eating in the middle of the ocean. So they have to come in. Joao's sending a tender out there to fetch them, and Jason's like, can you step on it? Because the tide's coming in. So the guests get on the tender, they get back, everyone's hustling, and they have to clean up this little island. And there's a lot of talk about like the tide's coming up, and we're seeing these overhead shots of the water, like already the island is disappearing. It's very exciting. And Joao tells us, I'm literally shitting myself. I'm literally walking around with 2 pieces of poop in my drawers right now because I said I was literally shitting myself. And the wave, if the wave sends the boat this way, then you're not facing Zimbabwe. But then if it sends the boat this way, then you are facing Zimbabwe. And then the moment that happens, if the water gets in, we're going to capsize. And then you'll never see Zimbabwe. It will roll and you'll either lose the boat or you'll beach the boat. So either the boat will float away or will be stuck in the sand. I don't know how those are the 2 options in this situation, but they are. And if we don't do something quickly, we are not going to go anywhere, specifically not even Zimbabwe.
Dun, dun, dun. So he's holding the boat. They're pushing the boat. The boat. And that's fine. They all get it. And Margot helps. Like,
Margot was like, okay, so I'll do that a little bit. And
Adam's like, holy shit. I got no experience on tenders getting beached like that. I feel like a fucking superhero.
Yes. Because Superman, wouldn't have even been an issue for Superman. I just
motherfucking beach for boat, bitch.
I just want to say, like, if this is what made you feel like a superhero, your superhero skills are very minimal.
Yeah,
you could push a boat into the water.
There are so many superheroes now. Like, what was Jeremy Renner's talent? It was like he can shoot an arrow. I mean, they're just like coming up with. It's like, wow, hey, a guy can throw a Nerf football really far.
I know. There's someone out right now called Blue Beetle. And I'm like, Blue Beetle?
What does Blue Beetle do?
In the trailer, he like a bus runs him over, but he bisects the bus because he's strong or something.
Well, that sounds like, did he murder everybody in there? Also, I think I saw that on Sean, what is that movie? Sean Chen? Is that what it's called?
Shun Li, the Seven Rings, or I don't want
It was so good, that movie. By the way, everybody, if you need a good movie, okay, so yeah, he's just like useless, like yet another superhero. He pushed a boat. He's like, yeah,
he can push a boat. Like literally, Superman could lift a boat with his pinky, and he's like, oh, I was one of 7 people who pushed a boat into the water. I feel like a superhero.
I'm a real fucking hero. So then Joao is talking to the captain, and he's like, wow, everybody did great. Even Margot helped. It was amazing. Everybody's a superhero. And then we get a shot of this gorgeous flat turtle. And I was like, is that thin privilege for turtles? Is that being thin for turtles? Because I've never seen a turtle that I was like, oh my God, that turtle looks amazing. Like that turtle, I'm not saying thin turtles look better than big turtles. Like turtles are turtles and they're all beautiful, but I've never, that turtle works out. Like, I don't know what it is, but that turtle, like literally, I was jealous.
And it was like a helpful turtle because Jason's like, okay, everyone, like get into your blacks. So you see everyone rushing to change into their blacks. And then we also see the turtle sort of like swimming forward. And it's like, oh, this sweet turtle is going to try to help out, try to get into its blacks and help out with dinner service. But like little does it realize it can't because it's a turtle and it's in the ocean.
But instead, a bus comes towards it and he splits it down the middle.
It's a superhero turtle.
It's like
Who
a
knew?
real fucking superhero turtle.
Yeah, you know what? It's just, listen, that turtle just wants to help out because he's got brothers and sisters he got to support. He's going to buy a house for him someday.
Yeah, get better goals. I think that's like such a sweet goal, but also I think like you deserve better goals. I can't wait to pay my mom's rent. Fuck that. Go to Disneyland. That's what I say.
It is literally like a virtuous, lovely thing that Adam is doing, but it also feels like just the cliche character development on some random, young adult novel turned into a movie. Like, yeah, you know what? The reason I've been working at this beach shack is that I hope that someday I can buy a house for my 12 brothers and sisters and my ma so she can put her feet up and she doesn't have to relax. I say, Ma, I got this. And the girl's like, oh my God, you mean so much to me. And then they have then they kiss. Well,
and that's how you land like Jennifer, not Coolidge. What's the freckle face Jennifer? Like that. She's from Trainspotting, actually. No, not from Trainspotting.
Jennifer Jason Leigh.
That's how you land Jennifer Jason Leigh. But also, I think if he said it once as part of his story, it'd be like, oh, that's sweet. But he's literally said it like 10 times where it's like, yeah, I just can't wait to take care of my entire family. Like, okay. You're a really good person, future Adam, who so far has not bought anybody a house. How about we stop the pre-bragging? You know what I mean? Because I feel like you're trying to like get laid right now instead of doing something kind for somebody. You don't get to you don't get a gold medal for wanting something good for someone else. You know what? I want world peace. Okay. I hope I get laid by everybody out there in America who hears this. I'm such a good person, cause world peace.
Well, now Aisha's looking at the window. She's like, oh, this is really pretty. It's like a paradiso. And Jason goes, oh, I thought you were talking about me. Oh, no, not you. So then, by the way, mom texts Adam and she goes, hey, call me later. I have something to tell you about your brother. Which, by the way, don't send a text like that. I was like, oh, no, the brother died.
Yeah, like I got a text to tell you, but I want you to actually call me. So we could talk about this house you're going to buy me in 30 years once you save up enough tips.
Listen, I hope you're having a wonderful day, honey. I hope you're doing well on that boat. Just want you to know something absolutely terrible and horrific happened to your brother, but don't worry about it. Just call me later tonight. But P.S., it's worse than you can imagine. Okay, talk to you later, sweetie.
But also, who doesn't call their mother? He's like, okay, and then forgets to call her? Like, what the hell, a person who's going to buy his family a house? Like, I would read that text and think somebody's dead. I would think so, too. Right now, right? And he's like, later. Whatever, fuck it. One less mouth to feed once I buy him. Look, congratulations. I'll be able to buy a house sooner. We'll need one less bedroom.
So now Joao is telling Harry about the tender, and he's saying how like Margot was there and she was lifting the tender and was so good. And Harry's like, she's great. She's just great, my girlfriend. And just Cuts to Margot banging her head on the ceiling while she puts up decorations.
Yeah, and she's going, Rudy toot toot and a yummy tum tum. Rudy toot toot and a yummy tum tum. And then we cut to Aisha asking about dinner, and Serena's like, well, I wanted holidays, so I'm going to give them, the first thing is going to be Halloween. It's going to be jack-o'-lantern barfing out guacamole. It's like someone that I would be attracted to looking at my face for the first time, just barfing all over the place, basically. Culver made me feel.
Yeah, the first time, by the way, that would be appropriate for her to like have something big and brown. She's like, I'm actually gonna do color here. And then she can do Christmas and then like Valentine's Day. And by the way, if they ask for an extra tostada, just tell them we'll also be celebrating Yom Kippur. No more food. No more. That's it.
We're celebrating whatever the holiday is that you have to fast. Okay, I'm sick of cooking. Yeah. So then Joao's thanking the boys, whatever, who cares? Cut to Margot hitting her head. Oh, you already said that part. Oh, geez, I'm behind. So then the guests are getting ready. Culver and Jamie are in the mess, making small talk. And then Serena's radioing for deck crew. Who cares? Hold on. What am I? Okay, so Jason sees Culver because now Culver is in the like pantry area with
like
Jamie.
A different pantry area. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the butler's pantry. I don't know what you would call this one, but like a different service pantry. And he's with What's Her Buns, and she leaves, and Jason sees him, and he's like, oh, I'm used to seeing you in the galley. Now you're hanging around here. Isn't that something?
He's like, oh yeah, just doing the rounds. As in, I'm looking for some of those sandwich rounds, trying to make some more avo and toast. So then Aisha is teaching Margot about forks, and Aisha is like, Margot is doing so well. Each charter she asks me to give her the night shift, and I'm not quite comfortable giving her the night shift just yet, but pretty soon. Unfortunately, I have to re-educate her a lot because she keeps hitting her head and forgetting the lessons I've taught her earlier in the day, but she's doing so well.
Every time she resets, she just says rummy tum tum and a tooby tube too. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Every time she comes to, she says, I don't remember anything, not even my name, but I do remember that I only want to be friends with Harry.
So Joao comes in and asks, Culver's doing the dishes. And so Joao comes in and he's like, I'll do the dishes. You go up and do the kitchens, and I'll do this. And Culver's like, Arr. So he goes upstairs and he just goes, kinda hungry. So he's kissing ass doing dishes, trying to get some food from Serena.
You've been eating all day, Culver. Okay, enough. So then Culver's like, basically, Joao tells Zarvina, like, oh, I'm sorry I stole your eye candy. And she goes, oh, I'm over it. I don't do second best. He goes, well, you don't deserve second best. I mean, who doesn't love you, though? Am I right? She goes, so many people, still not ever going to be wife material, unless my husband is a crayon. And Joao's like, oh, you're so pessimistic. And she's like, well, I'm 30, man. I'm over the hill. He goes, well, I'm 32, and I'm no one's wife.
And he's telling us, Serena and I have this connection that people may not understand, but we're just very comfortable with each other. We have 2 friends in common, but I don't know much about her, to be honest. There's much I'd like to get to know.
So your special connection is that you each slept with people like mutual friends. Like that's not really a special connection. So Zarvina just doesn't want anything serious. She doesn't want to get hurt. And Joao's like, but if you found the right person to cuddle, you wouldn't be bitching. For instance, I found the right person to cuddle, and it's the country of Zimbabwe. Come here, country.
So now everyone's getting into costumes for this dinner, and Joao is like, I saw a Santa outfit by my door. Last time I saw this, someone actually came down my chimney and robbed my mother. So, are you trying?
That is so wrong. You are wrong for that, and you are hilarious.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, Lord.
I'm sorry, guys. This
You
is
don't have
2
to
episodes a week, okay? It just melts your brain.
Yeah. We're only in the
so-
first 15 minutes of the show. I just want to point out.
Are we really? Well,
No,
should
I'm
we
just
just... Oh, my
I'm
God.
just kidding.
You
I'm just
scared me.
kidding.
I was like, okay, we're cutting this off and moving this to the next one.
No.
Okay, so...
So that they're all going to get together. So in costume. So Joao's going to be Santa, and he then Culver's going to be Cupid. So Joao's like, "Oh, hey man, you're going to be Cupid," and then Culver goes, "Cupid? Who's Cupid?" It's like, what? He's like, just ask. Who's
Never
Cupid?
heard of Cupid? That's hilarious. And he's like, no, who's Cupid? Well, it's a little angel and it chases people around with arrows when they're in love. Oh, really? Because, I call that Chef Kim because every time I've been in love, she's chased a girl around with an arrow screaming, stupid, stupid.
Wait, aren't you talking about Jeremy Renner in that movie with the arrows? No. Well, I mean, I know Cupid's a character in a little cartoon and stuff like that. No, you're probably thinking of the Coppertone baby. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love the Coppertone baby.
I wonder if he'd give me food. So the producer's like, Culver tells the producers, who is Cupid? Like, I know it's a character in a cartoon. And the producer's like, oh, are you asking me? And he goes, yeah. It's the god of love. And he's like, oh my God.
Oh.
Is he trying to be cute? Is it one of those things where you're like, I'm just stupid. Aren't I cute?
It's amazing. It's amazing how, like, empty Culver is. Like, how much of an empty vessel he is. Because it's funny, when he came on the boat, there was almost this feeling like, oh, Culver's back. And, like, yeah, he could be a little lazy, but he's, like, pretty much a good deckhand. And, like, we're like, no, he's not a good deckhand. And he actually has, like, no personality. He just talks about food and smiles. Like, that's all he has.
And works out.
He doesn't even know what
That's it.
Cupid is.
He's got
he literally
workout
doesn't know about
privilege.
Cupid. He doesn't understand Cupid.
I think he does understand Cupid. I think he's doing one of those like, aren't they stupid? I'm so dumb, guys. I'm like literally an idiot.
Well, then he pulls like the artiste card because he's like, well, I usually pick my costumes and this one's been granted to me, but I'm a team player. You want Cupid? Cupid is here. Now he's all of a sudden acting like it's hard to be Cupid. Like this is gonna actually be this is actually a burden for him to be Cupid.
Right. Like the costume you would have picked out would have also been something wrapped around your waist and nothing else. So
Yeah.
let's stop pretending that like the subtraction of a mullet just, took you down a peg as the CEO of Fun. Give me a break. So then he goes into they announce the barfing jack-o'-lantern guacamole, and they love that. And Culver goes into the kitchen, and Serena's like, oh, God. She sees his outfit, and she's like, oh, God. Culver's just about dangling it out in front of you, isn't he? Just physically beautiful whore. He's a whore. Physically beautiful whore.
So then, so all like the pumpkin, the vomiting pumpkins on the table, and Adam tells us, seeing this family aboard definitely makes me homesick because I miss hugging and kissing my mom and my little brother and my sister and my sister and my other brother and my sister and my VHS copy of Kangaroo Jack and my sister. I just want to bring all my family onto a yacht like this, but like going to sea isn't easy, and like you miss so many birthdays and holidays. I'm like, work at Circuit City. I don't know. What can I tell you at this point?
Also, it's like saving you so much money missing family birthdays with that many people in your family. Sorry, couldn't be there. All right. Here's your $5 Starbucks card instead.
Yeah.
So then Culver passes Serena and she's eating soup. And he's like, I want food. She goes, mm-hmm. He's like, yeah. I mean, like that. I want food like that. She goes, mm-hmm.
I was really hoping she would just throw the soup on his face. Like, you want food? Here's your food.
I loved it, just holding it over his head that she's not going to feed him. And they also had a shot earlier in this episode where he got, after, I think it was before the avocado toast thing, where they just show him walk into the mess and stare at the refrigerator and opens it. And he's like,
Yeah, it's like the sad fridge. So then now they're serving Christmas dinner, and then Culver gives Jamie the shell that he found on the beach, and he's like, here's a shell. I have more. And she's like, oh, all right. Well, I mean, you're just going to give them to everyone? He's like, no. You know this is a bottle cap, right? It's not quite a shell. It says Diet Coke right there, right? You see that? Yeah, it's a Diet Coke shell.
I just wanted to give you this shell because it represents me as a person. Just a shell. I would have given you a husk, but they don't have corn here.
Maybe if we have a baby, it could be called Chris Shell. So James like, bless his soul. It's such a tricky situation. I don't want to rub anything in Zorina's face, but at the same time, I'm getting along really well with Culver. I mean, he gave me a shell. So yeah, we have a great connection.
We're basically married now. So Adam gets the call from his mom, and nice calling your mom back, Adam. Jesus. And so we just see his reaction. He's like, what? What? He got jumped? So what? Tell me about his face. Tell me about his face, because that kid's fucking gorgeous. You tell me that face is fucked up, we're going to have a problem, all right? What does he look like, all right? What does he look like? Does he look at all like a kangaroo? I'm getting helpful now. I'm getting helpful.
These pussy little motherfuckers. I know exactly who these fucking type of kids are. Oh, please, those pussy little mother. Oh, my God, bro. Oh, my God, I'm so mad. Oh, God. I'm like, he is actually kind of a hilarious cliche of like a guy from Brooklyn who cares about his younger brothers. Like every single movie I've seen where they've had that character, he really is that, you know?
Yeah.
So apparently his little brother did get jumped in the schoolyard by 4 kids, which is, you know, fuck those kids, by the way. And I'm like, just send me their names. Just send me their names. I'm like, so you can what? Mail them a starfish?
Yeah, what are you going to do, Kaiser Sose?
Are you going to send them some of Zarina's leftovers?
You're going to have them shanked in fucking middle school or whatever. But it's like, send me their names. They ain't going to be welcome at Johnny's oil change shop no time soon. I'm going to call in all my favors.
Yeah. He's like, you know, he told my mom that the punches were really hurting him and he's really scared. And the fact that I'm not there to protect him, that broke my heart. It's like, well, why did you get a job on a boat when you can't even swim? There's like, get a job in Brooklyn.
Poor kid. So then morning time now, everybody goes to bed. So Adam's telling Joao in the mess that his brother got jumped and they have this bonding moment. And Joao's like, oh, I know what this means. You want to go home. And do you want to take care of it? And he's like, yeah, I want to kick the shit out of someone. I got to deal with it when I get back. I'm just waiting for the names. I'm just waiting for their names. And Joao's like, you got to be careful because you don't want to help so much that you won't be there to help your family. And I understand because I've been in so much trouble at home. Zim is different, bro. You go to jail every other weekend.
I'm not trying to one-up your Brooklyn story, but I am just letting you know that my situation was harder. And Adam's like, yo, you feel so powerless, bro. And Joao's like, family is everything, mate, especially in Zimbabwe. It's actually a little bit more of everything there than in Brooklyn, just saying.
We call it Zamli.
Yeah, it just makes it a little cooler, you know? Actually, the funny thing is, sometimes I would just sit with my Zamli and listen to our favorite record of Top. Oh, in America, it's called ZZ Top, but we don't find it necessary to say that in Zim.
Zim Sim Top.
Zim Zim Top. Oh, you know, and bless my mother. Sometimes I would just, some of my favorite childhood memories are sitting with my mother, putting in her favorite VHS of Liza with the Zim. Those were great days.
Liza with the Zim.
Liza with the Zim.
So then we get the great romance of Harry and Margot. So Margot's doing laundry and Harry comes in. He's like, what's happening? What's happening with you? And she's like, ironing.
All right, cool. I'll talk to you later.
So then let's see, tender driving. We're worried that the tender's going to crash into the boat because the captain's like, all right, whoever's the tender driver needs to look after it. Is the tie on? Is the tie on the tender? And Culver's like, stand back, Captain. We'll let you know. We're going to take care of the tender. Is the tender okay? This is the biggest thing that's going to ever happen on the boat. Tender's fine. Everything's fine with the tender.
Yeah, but Culver fucked up his lines, and so they needed to pull in the tender, but there was too much tension because Culver did the lines wrong. And he did them upside down or something like that. And it's too tight. And she was like, who put this line on? Who non-Zimbabwean put this line on? Culver, did you let this out? And Culver's like, oh, I guess I did. I guess I fucked that up. So Joao's like, if all three deckhands can't do their job, it's not a good sign. And I've got a tall order. But the deck team that I have is what I have to work with. So I need to teach them because if I wasn't here to teach everyone, they would be fired. And not furthermore, if I weren't here to teach them, I'd be in Zimbabwe. So just think about that for a moment.
And that is the truth.
Zing.
He just laughs maniacally. Okay, Joao. So he's like, any line must start from the bottom. And he shows the guys how to do the anchor rope thing the proper way. And so they're learning. He's taking charge.
So now Margot's in her room and she's like, Margot, make your bed. So rude of me. And then now the guests leave. And so, or they're packing up to leave. They haven't actually arrived at the dock yet because the boat is approaching the dock. And Joao puts Adam at like the front of the boat, the bow, I think. Is it bow, stern, bow? I think it's the bow. And he's got to do something up there. And as they're coming in, Adam's saying like, yo, I just want to do the best job that I can because I don't want to let Joao down because he's my new dad. And if I'm not working up to my potential, I'm not working up to my dad's potential. So I got to do this all right.
I'm going to buy him a house one day. So they get to the dock and he throws the line over and they make it because they're like a foot away from the dock, right? So the captain's like, please make sure I don't hit in the back. And Joao's like, Adam, forward on the bow, forward on the bow.
Adam's just standing there.
Move it up. Yeah, Adam's standing there.
And then
Adam goes, wrong person, bro.
Yeah, and then Adam goes to the middle area because there are these big like pylons or whatever, and the boat's approaching it, and so Adam's just standing there, and they're like, "What are you doing, Adam?" And he's like, "This is too much. This is impossible for one person." And Jason's like, "Come on, Adam, come on, move the fender." And Adam's just sort of like standing there, and then we hear like, and then it has a big old gouge or scrape on the side of the boat.
So if anyone is wondering why they're stuck on this shit boat, this is why. Okay, this is, Captain Jason, like one of the best captains, but personality-wise, God damn, this is a disaster. This is like Platoon in boat version, in boat form.
Oh, I'm so glad you said Platoon because I was meant to bring this up.
God, yes. What a fun movie. What a fun film.
What a fun, feel-good movie. Before we end this episode, I had the entire time when I was watching last night, I was thinking to myself, as long as we're talking about Adam being a movie type, I was like, you know what? Harry is the sort of person who, like, when you watch a movie like Platoon, I literally was thinking about this last night. He's the one in Platoon who comes in all like, oh, yeah, just decided to sign up for the war. I thought it'd be great. It'd be fun. And by the end, he's either dead or just, like, shell-shocked in a bunker, like, I miss my mom. Yeah. He is like the one who gets ground down to a pulp in war movies.
Yeah, the only thing that was really missing from that film was Gina Davis, really.
Well, if you watch the director's cut, you might be surprised who you might find.
She's like, I'm blonde in this one. Gina Davis had that like Culver tooth kind of way of talking, where she's like, yeah, I'm here to kick your ass.
Well, thank you for getting that third Gina Davis reference in before the podcast ended. Because I thought
listen, even if it wasn't a real one, I couldn't believe how many things of Gina Davis's I forgot. What was the name of that TV show that she was on where she was like the president? Was it called Madam President?
It wasn't
probably.
I don't think was it Madam President because there was Madam Secretary. I think it was. Yeah, I don't remember what it was called because there was Madam Secretary with Taya Leone that my parents watched.
Right.
But then there was the Gina Davis one.
Don't do things about being in politics. You just disappear and we never see you again.
Too true.
Where's Taya?
Too true.
Where's Gina? Taya, Gina.
Everybody is doing great things. That's all I was going to say.
Is she?
She started a foundation.
She is. I saw her in something.
She started a foundation about like tracking things like it's very pro women and it's all about like tracking the amount of times that women are depicted in ways X, Y, and Z, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But like really, it's like she's created a foundation that's been helping Hollywood try to improve depiction of women in films.
Well,
It's
look
a whole
at
thing.
that.
It's a
Well,
whole
what a
thing.
way
It's
to
very impressive.
what a way to take it from Platoon to actually feeling good about ourselves and our world and our lives and our stars, our movie
Yeah.
stars.
Our
God.
starfishes.
Thank you for the stars you've given us, Lord. Everybody,
you.
thank you so much for being with us. This was a fun episode. We'll be back tomorrow with the other episode of Below Deck Down Under. You can also go find our latest Crappie Hour over on our Instagram at Watch What Crappens, and be sure to follow us on YouTube at Watch What Crappens for the next Crappie Hour. And we will... Oh,
Yeah,
sorry, Ben.
I was just going to say, if you watch Crappie Hour, you might be amused to see who shows up in the comments.
Dun, dun, dun. We will talk to you next time, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors.
Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas.
She's never scary. It's the Green Fairy.
Jamie, she has no last namey.
Hava Nagila Weber. Know your worth with Jason Kurth.
Sip some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's a little bit loony. Junie, she's always supplying. It's Kelly Ryan.
Kristen the Piston Anderson.
You're never alone with Lacey Monteleone.
Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg. Ruru LaRue.
The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
She's not harsh, she's Jill Hirsch.
My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly, it's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender. We want to hang with Liz Lang. The incredible edible Matthews sisters. Nancy Cease and Desisto.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
She's the queen bee, it's Sarah Lemke.
Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.
Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts. Before you go, tell us about yourself by completing a short survey at